This is the official podcast of the Seahawks. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Week 1, big W. We are on the board, 1-0, leading the NFC West. The San Francisco 49ers are in last place, which is a good feeling. Absolute great start to the season for Seahawks fans. This is a fun podcast. Just chatting about our thoughts about week 1. A lot of positive things coming out of week 1. We're really excited about, very optimistic about the season ahead. And great news for the Seahawks Social cast is we've officially come up with rules for our win-loss point system. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be fun.
Rule number 1, no shitty beer.
Very weird Monday in Greater Vancouver today.
Ooh.
We don't need to talk about that here. But it was a fucking phenomenal Sunday. It basically worked out as ideally as I could have liked.
Almost.
Let me name all the things that I was very happy with. 1, Seahawks victory. 2, 49ers loss. 3, Tom Brady sucks. And also the Dallas Cowboys, who every commentator on NFL bullshit TV channel, whatever the garbage you're on, Fox News, whoever you are, they all are all over the Dallas Cowboys D every fucking year to start this season. Every year.
I think most people had the Dallas offense ranked into top 4.
How'd it go yesterday?
Not very well.
Yeah, not that great. You guys watched Russell Wilson? See what he did out there?
Very
and
cool.
Guess what? Oh, who are they talking about? Aaron Rodgers yesterday. Aaron Rodgers had a great game. But the guys on NFL channel this morning, all they were talking about is Aaron Rodgers' early MVP candidate.
Yeah. Why is it that Russell Wilson doesn't get the credit he gets? 9 years, what is this, year 9 or 8? 9.
9.
Fucking bullshit.
It's only because he plays for the Seahawks. If he was playing in
West
any
Coast.
big-time city, if he was playing for the New York Giants, if he was playing for New England, for
Anyone.
Dallas, for Green Bay, man, every year he'd be ranked number 1 in the league. Every year. Should we talk about his stat line, or should we say that for
let's
later?
talk about his stat. Let's open this up with his stat line. It was insane.
So he was 31 for 35
Yep.
for a cool 322 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 143 passer rating. And he didn't even try. It was a really chill afternoon for Mr. Russell Wilson.
He was just so calm and collected the whole time and just took his time on everything.
It's shocking to think that he could get better from last year, where him and Mahomes were easily the 2 best players in the league last year, I think, and neither of them won the MVP. But I guess Mahomes was hurt for a bunch of the year, so it's hard to give it to him. I just don't think there's anyone in the league that does more for their squad than Russell Wilson does. I think Mahomes has a great offense, and now the Seahawks have a pretty good offense. I think Lamar Jackson is surrounded by studs. And I think their performance throughout the year last year was dependent a lot on him, but as well, he just had so many people around him.
Yep.
Russell Wilson single-handedly made the Seahawks have a winning record last year. The defense was poor. He had a couple good players on offense to throw the ball to, but like, I don't know. I think without Russell Wilson, last year, the Seahawks are 5-11.
Yeah, I know. I think you're right, especially with that O-line. He has no time to do anything last year.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It scared me off the first play, though, when he got sacked. I was like, oh, shoot.
You know what?
But it woke him up.
Carla and I were just talking about this, that like,
What a way to open the season up.
as soon as
Sack.
that play happened
All right.
and he got sacked for a 9-yard loss.
They woke him up, though.
No, but my reaction was, I like that they went play action on first down.
Play action, yeah?
Yeah. This is a sign of good things to come.
Yeah.
I like this. And the guy made a good play. It is what it is.
Yeah,
Usually
exactly.
on that play action going the other way, the D end comes straight down the line because he thinks it's going to be a handoff, and then Russell Wilson's outside of him.
Because the tight end peels off.
Yeah, he played it really well. Yeah.
Also, he was 31 for 35, you're saying?
Yeah,
Completion?
31 and 35.
And two of those were just drops.
Metcalf had that really bad
Metcalf,
drop.
like it was like right into their hands. So really, it should have been 33 for 35.
I like how quickly Metcalf bounced back, though,
Super quick, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
because he had a great game. And I think that might have been his first target.
I think so. It
It
was,
was,
one
earlier in the game,
on.
yeah. And yeah, just hit him in the chest and he dropped. But I thought he had a really strong second half. Lucas, this is super. Dude, we're doing a fucking professional podcast.
I know, but I still have to work, bro. It's all good.
What if the Seahawks Social becomes the official podcast of the Seahawks?
Well, it currently is the unofficial official, so we're getting close.
That's correct. We actually have that in writing from the team.
Oh, perfect. There you go.
We don't. One day.
One day.
So, Myers still sucks.
So I was gonna say 3 highlights for me
I know you're going to
From-
say it, but you didn't want
from
it.
week 1.
You're just saying it to piss me off.
1, I think we have one of, if not the best offenses in the league, which was proved. 2, I think Jamal Adams is extremely underrated and probably going to be the best defensive player in the league this year.
He was on a mission.
3, Jason Myers is 100% on the season.
I'll put money down on this, actually.
I'm not saying he's going to be 100%. He currently is 100%.
Okay.
That one field goal was pretty ugly, though.
Yeah, he had 1 field goal and five extra points. Like, how hard is that?
Yeah, that's 6 for 6, bro. Carl,
Do you see that field goal?
to comment on, hey, okay, here's a point. If Russell Wilson throws a 50-yard duck and DK Metcalf catches it in the end zone, everyone says touchdown.
Yeah.
If Myers kicks a field goal that doesn't look perfect and it goes through the uprights, who gives a shit? It went in.
We'll have
Kawhi Leonard last year.
We'll have this conversation when the game is on the line. You're telling me when the game is on the line, you're not closing your eyes when that ball's being kicked, going, oh my God. You're thinking about it. I guarantee.
Even if it's a 13-yard field goal and you have the best kicker of all time, who's the best kicker of all time? Adam Vinatieri?
Probably.
those guys?
Yeah.
Also, the Colts kicker was really good with Peyton Manning. What's his name?
That was Vinatieri.
Oh, then he went
was.
over to
Yeah,
then he
yeah.
went over to New England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking traitor.
Just following them chips.
Yeah.
You're always going to be closing your eyes, man.
Not with Vinatieri, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
No.
Get out of here. You're super nervous.
No.
When the game's on the line, everyone's nervous.
Because the
Doesn't
game's
matter
on the
who's
line, he's making that kick.
Hey, Jason Myers. Maybe he...
Let's
has
just
to come
get off
back
of
here.
Myers for a second, since you're on him right now. Let's carry
just
this
saying.
conversation.
give credit, man.
Dude, he's got
6
no
for
credit
6.
yet. He was 1 for
I hope
1.
you know, until he misses one,
Yeah.
I'm sending you a message on every kick, every extra point.
Well,
So far,
currently you
it's 6 for
did
6.
that, so that was great.
So next week it's gonna be, hey Lucas.
What was killing me was that you were on a delay, and I was like, "Can you just shut up so I can watch him actually miss this?" And then it's like, "Oh, 1 for 1, 2 for 2." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
I was delayed. Or you
I
were?
was on the delay.
Oh shit!
So I don't know.
sorry.
I must have been on the wrong channel because I'm like, he hasn't kicked yet. And you're like 2 for 2. I'm like, what the fuck?
Just ruining the game for
Just
Lucas.
ruining the game for me.
I didn't. I thought you said you were watching it live.
I was watching the live. I must have watched the wrong channel because there was obviously a delay.
So last
me.
week, sans Lucas, we chatted about a couple things. One being the hashtag that's going around Seattle right now. Let Russ cook.
That's right.
And I wanted to share some stats from the week 1 last year. We played the Bengals, and Russell Wilson was 14 for 20 with 195 yards and 2 TDs. Yesterday in week 1, he was 31 for 35, so he had 15 more attempts, almost double
Almost
the amount of
double, yeah.
attempts. He had 322 yards and 4 touchdowns. I may be a little premature in saying this, but I feel like The offense is running through Russell Wilson this year.
Do you think him and Pete Carroll had a conversation over the offseason and just maybe Pete gave Russell the reins?
I don't know if it's Pete Carroll's decision. Like, Pete Carroll doesn't call plays for the Seahawks. Their offensive coordinator, Schottenheimer.
Right.
Is that his last name? He does. So I think it was more him than Carroll. But at some point, you just have to realize that you have the best player in the league on your team, and you need to just funnel.
And you're paying.
Well, they already realized that. Let's be honest. And we had some weapons. Carson was amazing. Metcalf was catching the ball. Olsen is not too bad for an option.
Lockett looked good.
Honestly,
Lockett was looking great. Lockett was making people make mistakes around him. And then on top of that, Russell Wilson starts running. Like, well, fuck, who do we guard? What's going on here?
that's the exciting thing.
That's
this year
when
is
it's awesome. You have that many weapons.
There's so many weapons.
Yeah.
And
then Adams.
We'll get to him. We'll get to defense.
Oh my God.
On offense, it was really cool to see how dynamic their play calling was. It was different than what you were used to last year.
Mm-hmm.
Last year was like first down, run the ball. Second down, run the ball. 3rd and 7.
Put Russ on
Russ is getting attacked by 3 defensive linemen and he's scrambling and trying to make something happen. This year, I like, even like I said on the first play of the game, running play action, sack for a loss of 9. But in my head, I'm thinking, I like that this is the way we're starting our season.
Yeah.
Just letting Russell Wilson have the ball, see what happens. There's so many weapons, and like it's not like anyone had a great stat line. Like I go down the list. Metcalf had 4 receptions for 95 yards and touchdown. Great, pretty good, but only 4 receptions. Lockett had 8 receptions. Pretty typical Lockett game. 8 receptions for 92 yards. Like he's the guy who just, when you need someone to make a play on 3rd and 4, he just like runs a little option route, creates space, and Wilson hits him for 5 yards. So like that's a typical stat line for him. Chris Carson, what I liked a lot is that they're running a lot of play action, getting the running backs into the flats and hitting. Well, here's a great example. Carson was 6 receptions for 45 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then like, I didn't really know how Greg Olsen was going to fit into the offense, but he kind of fills a little gap that we didn't really have.
Yeah.
And he's just like, he's a solid guy who's going to catch the ball every single time it's thrown in his direction. Yeah. He's not going to be the fastest guy on the field.
But his routes are nice.
Strong.
Yeah.
He knows how to create a little bit of space, and his hands are just money.
Yeah.
So good. There was, he caught 2 passes that like stick out in my head. One was a little out route on 3rd down early in the game, and he like turns his head around, and the ball is right in his chest, and it just looked like he was expecting it to hit him in the hands as soon as he turned his head. And then the second one was that little slant in the end zone that he caught for his touchdown that Russell Wilson probably threw 140 miles an hour at his head.
That was close too. Yeah.
And he so I see him being like, I think his stat line is going to look like this most games. So 4 catches, 25 yards, and a touchdown.
So maybe like 6 to 8 targets a game?
Totally.
And if you're looking at those stats, they're spread out. And that's what's amazing is that there are so many fucking weapons that that's when you have a dangerous offense.
And throw in Hollister, throw in Disley.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Wait till those guys get going. Oh my God.
Well, Hollister made a few plays.
Hollister didn't get a lot of action just because Will Disley's healthy and Greg Olsen.
Yeah, but he still got out there.
Better to the offense than I thought he was going to in week 1. Yeah, he was out there a little bit. He only had 1 reception.
Who else likes that there's no preseason this year?
Just get right into it.
Don't mind it.
No, I don't mind it either. Because who watches preseason really?
Well, I mean, the problem with preseason is how many injuries are there? You were talking about this earlier. How many preseasons there were, or how many injuries there were yesterday. Preseason kills a lot of people.
Well, that's the reason that most of the top guys they'll play
like a quarter.
They'll wait till the 3rd or 4th preseason game, play the 1st or 2nd possession, and that's it. But the guys that make a big difference on teams, like obviously Russell Wilson is not getting hurt in preseason. He's playing 1 possession.
Yeah.
But the guys that are like the O and D line who play every fucking snap, those are the guys that hurt so bad if they get a knee injury or something, right?
Yeah.
And it feels like those are the guys that take a beating in preseason.
Yeah.
What do you think? So I feel like this is a pretty typical game that we're going to see for the Seahawks this season, meaning that the ball's going to be spread around quite a bit. We have so many weapons. Like even David Moore, who is now like a third or fourth string receiver, had 3 receptions for 30 yards. Like there's just a lot of weapons. What do you think how do you think guys react to that? I think you have to have a certain personality to fit into that type of system, right? Where like there's no OBJs on our team that are going to get 14 targets a game, right?
No. Yeah.
Do you think we have the right, I have an opinion on this, but do you think we have the right like personnel to have a system like that? Because I feel like this is exactly how 90% of our football games are going to go this season.
I feel like if you're on the Seahawks or want to be on the Seahawks, that's the system you're buying into, and you understand that that's the way it's going to be. They're just going to buy into it. Why wouldn't you buy into it? Like you're always going to be, for a fact that this Seahawks, as long as Russell Wilson's on the team, is always going to have a winning season. It's just a matter of if we can stay healthy along the way.
What do you think about that, Carl? Because
we don't have any head cases that are it's me, it's all about me. People would argue that Adams would have been that guy, but if anything's showing you, as soon as he's joined the team, he's bought into the system of like,
he's like the best team guy on the team.
That's what I'm saying.
Everyone up,
but
high fives.
People would argue that like that's what his past was like.
Because you got to think about these guys, right? Like these guys are superstar athletes, right? Top 0.1% in the world of athletes. And they're coming out of high school and university where they are the absolute man. They're the best player on the team by far. Like, think of a guy like DK Metcalf. Like, no one has ever competed with him physically in his entire life.
In high school?
Right? Until he gets to the NFL.
Yeah.
And now that he's in the NFL, you got to like, it seems like he's done a really good job in just using his like physique as an example.
Yeah.
But like, it seems like it would be difficult for some personalities to adjust to being like, well, why aren't you throwing the ball to me 17 times a game?
Yeah.
I'm the best athlete on the team,
I think like Lucas said, we don't have any OBJs, right? Guys that would just openly voice that they're not getting enough touches. I think that's crazy for the Seahawks. Yeah. And I think like, look at the tight end situation. You have Luke Wilson, Greg Olsen, Will Disley, Hollister.
Yeah.
Right? All of them can step in and make plays.
Yeah.
And I just think that
that's what makes a healthy team successful
100%.
along the way, because then they don't have to go out there and play every single play. Like that's not your guy for the whole game. But they bought into the system. I'm going to go out for a few plays. but I'm going to stay healthy.
And you go 100%,
whole season.
100% every play, right?
Yeah.
I don't follow really any other teams closely in the NFL, but I feel like it'd be hard to beat our depth right now.
I think so.
On offense especially. Defense, I'll say the defensive backs are pretty deep. Like Marquise Blair looked pretty good yesterday. We have Flowers.
Griffin's
and if Quentin Dunbar stays out of jail, let's say this, I think him and Flowers like subbing in and out as that fourth DB, decent option. Although Dunbar didn't look great yesterday. There's just a lot of guys. So I'd say other than the O and D line, depth, phenomenal right now. Like on offense, super, super scary.
Yeah.
What's your defensive scheme?
Oh, I don't know.
Like, who are you picking to guard?
There's so many short threats. There's so many long threats.
Right?
Russell Wilson has everything.
And it's just going to pick them apart. It may take a quarter to figure it out. Once he does, game on.
The question mark is the offensive line. And we were talking about this last week.
Yeah.
And they looked, I'd say if I were to give them a grade out of 10, it was like a 4 to 5 out of 10.
Which the thing is, though, is that Wilson's dealt with that already in the past. So he knows how to deal with it. It's just he has a few more weapons in his pocket that he can get to earlier now if they start falling apart on him. He's going to hit a little too much for my liking for game one.
Yeah.
A little too much, which is not good. But he still bounces up every time.
So he was sacked 3 times for who gives a shit about yards, but he was sacked 3 times, which is not all that bad when you look at last season, right?
No, but
Last
some of
season-
the sacks that he got, like when he got hit yesterday, some of them were big hits. And they could have been like knee wreckers. And I don't like that.
So what do you think about the O-line? Do you think they look better than last year, the same as last year? Do you think there's room for, like, do you think they're improving?
I think there's a slight improvement over last year. Like,
yeah.
he's still getting hit, but I feel like he has like a half second more maybe to get a pass off. So a couple of those deep threats, you know, for when he hit Lockett or Metcalf, he had a little bit more time.
I also feel like that's a position that as the games go along, they will only get better. So, I think it's too early to really decide what's coming up down the road for that specific property or the O-line, but
You talking about
I'm talking about real estate now. I just saw an email come through and I'm talking about real estate now. Sorry, it's been a long day. Selling real estate and talking football. Welcome to my life.
That one of the comments I wanted to make on them was I thought they got better as the game went along.
Mm-hmm.
Like it seemed like in the second half, especially in the third quarter, like early in the second half when we scored a bunch of points, he had a lot more time.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think two of the three sacks were like in the first quarter, like really early in the game,
Mm-hmm.
and it felt like they got better.
You kind of just figure it out and adapt it a little bit.
Like new starting center, like
Right.
a bunch of new guys. I think
No
one of the guys is a
preseason.
rookie.
Yeah.
One of the O tackles is a rookie, I think. So it's like new group, new guys, new positions, like no preseason. It's going to take a little bit of time to figure it out and get together.
Yeah.
Man, it's so crazy how like even as a Seahawks fan, I can only name two offensive linemen.
I know.
right?
Isn't that so
Like,
bad?
They're no names, but they're so ridiculously important. Right? Like if you have a good O-line, you can be weak at other positions. You can have a mediocre running back, but a good O-line makes you look like a superstar.
Ethan Pochich, right?
Yeah.
Was the starting center.
Yeah. This is his first year playing center. Starting center anyway.
Dwayne Brown.
Dwayne Brown is a seasoned vet, but I think he's getting older.
Mike Lupati.
Mikey Patty's been there for a few years.
Yeah.
Damian Lewis.
I think he's the rookie, right?
And then Brandon Shell is the last one.
Yeah, I think Lewis is the rookie. Out of LSU, I think.
Yeah, he's out of LSU. Yeah. Yep, correct. So what, lots of learning, but potential? Do you see it getting better as the season goes on? Or do you see us having...
It's hard to say because like
I
last
think
year
we need
we
a
were
few more
very weak
games
from the
to-
beginning.
Always, yeah.
And it didn't get much better. Whereas like, so watching the games now, I'm like thinking about it more analytically. I'm like thinking about certain positions and like watching certain things. Like I wanted to watch Adams really closely. So on every defensive play for the first half, I was just watching what Adams was doing on the TV,
Yeah.
which is super cool because he's like,
Giving
he's the
it
most
100%.
active defensive player I've ever seen that I can ever remember. Like he's involved on every single play.
He never stops. Like you looking at this, he's 100% racing. Even if he's on the other side of the field. He's
He's
doing
like a Bobby Wagner, man.
Yeah.
Like if he stays healthy in his career,
there
he's
is
he's a Hall of Famer.
no let up every single play. I've never seen it's crazy what
And
he was
you
doing.
can tell that the other guys are feeding off his energy.
Yeah.
Like he's
Man.
high-fiving, getting people's faces. It's freaking good
yeah.
to see.
Yeah, it got people going for sure.
Even like, I've never played in the NFL.
Really?
I don't know
Wait,
what
what?
it's like, but I would only assume that like the young guys, like Marquise Blair, who's trying to make a name for himself, like Trey Flowers, who's coming off a mediocre season, but the team believes in you. And they want you to do well, and you're like 23 years old. I can only imagine that like a dude like him is just such a big boost to your ego. Like
Oh,
every
yeah.
time you do something well, he's just like
Cheering
slapping
you
your
on,
helmet and like
yes.
telling you you're the best player in the world. Like
And it, coming from a guy like him, that means a lot.
it's kind of crazy. Like where does that leadership quality come from? Because he's what? This is his third year in the league or fourth?
A third year.
I thought he played for the Jets 3 years. It's third or fourth anyway. So he's like 24, 25,
24.
24. And he has to know that he's like top 5 defensive players in the league already. But like, where does that, because it's a pretty rare quality
Yeah.
that someone that young is also such a good leader and teammate.
don't know.
It was really impressive. Honestly, I was super impressed. I was more excited to watch him than anyone else on our team this week. And I was had really high expectations, and I was blown away by how good this dude is.
Oh, man.
Like, one thing I said on my Instagram story right after the game was Jamal Adams is extremely underrated. Because he came into to the Seahawks, and people were talking about him as like one of the best safeties in the league, and I think he's one of the best defensive players in the league.
Well, he showed it yesterday. 12 tackles, 1 sack, 2 QB hits, and 2 tackles for loss.
He's tackles involved on the team, in every defensive play, man.
Yeah.
And you could, like, having a guy that that was one of the things I kept saying in my head. I was like, this guy does everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
He blitzes, he stops the run, he sacks the quarterback. He's like super good in coverage. Did he get beat for one? Did he get beat at all?
I don't think so.
I don't think anyone had a catch on him. And he's like the best defensive leader we've seen ever, maybe, at the Seahawks. Bobby Wagner's a great leader, but Bobby Wagner's not a raw guy.
No, he's not.
He's like
lead by example.
Yeah, totally. And he's a great teammate. You hear him in interviews. He's like always giving other guys credit and like sweet. People love him. I know Russ loves him. But like, it's pretty cool to have those two guys together now. It's crazy to watch, man.
So you're pumped? You're pumped for the season?
It was so fun.
Well, we're one step away from Legion of Boom coming back.
How was the D-line? What would you give a score for the D-line?
Our beer machine's broken, so I'm gonna have to go fix it. Just give me a second.
Where's your beer machine? It's broken. Clearly.
Lucas is one of the only people I know that complains about free beer.
Yeah, but if you're giving somebody Lucky, then you shouldn't even be drinking it. But I'll drink it.
I disagree.
When
I go out there, and if you guys want to watch the Seahawks
if you come to my house, and I open the fridge and it's stacked full of A-grade alcohol, I will be sure not to give you the D grade.
Just to comment on that, I've been what I would say best friends with Lucas for 3 years, and I can total the amount of times I've invited to his house is 0.
That's not true. You were invited to my house last week?
I picked you up.
I brought you to my house last week. I picked you up and brought you to my house. I asked you to stay in the car, but I did bring you to my house on Friday. Remember this?
So maybe he does have some nice beer in the fridge, but you're definitely not getting any of it. D-line.
D-line score.
D-line was mediocre. Not good. I think, I was saying this over the weekend. I was saying, I think Jamal Adams makes the D-line look better. Because he, like I said, just saying, he's so versatile. He can do so many things that they can line up in so many different packages. They now put a new defensive formation in because of how good he is, right? Yeah. So they're running more nickel, which is 5 DBs, because he can blitz out of that package. On 3rd and long, they can just drop 5 guys back. He just does so many different things, and I think he makes the D-line look a little bit better, even though they were very mediocre on the weekend.
So he helped bail them out.
So you look at Matt Ryan's stat line. So I'd say Matt Ryan has a decent offense, not a great offense in the NFL. He's got a couple really good receivers. Calvin Ridley's a really good receiver.
Julio Jones
is a really good receiver. And their new guy, Russell Gage, I thought he had 9 receptions. Jesus. He looked really good though. He's like a little Tyler Lockett, right? He's like a little super fast guy and really good hands. But Matt Ryan threw for 450 yards.
Is that the beer fridge?
So that tells me we are not getting any pressure on the quarterback, right?
Right.
Like, if you have a really active defensive line that's getting the quarterback, no quarterback is throwing for 450 yards.
No, that's a lot, right?
So, like we mentioned yesterday or last week, I think the 2 things that we pointed out are definitely going to be the weak spots in this team this year. And improvement in both of them means we win a Super Bowl. Improvement in neither of them likely means we win 1 or 2 playoff games.
So we have some big tests coming up. Are they though? Like we have some New England and
Is that all we want to say about the game?
no,
We can talk about what's coming up.
no, it's fine. Keep going.
You gotta give Jason Myers some credit.
Fuck Myers. That's the credit he gets. That his name actually comes out of my mouth sometimes. I think that's a weak point.
Can we
get
talk
rid of him?
about?
Just trade him. He's 6 for 6. What can we get from him? Can we get Vinatieri out of retirement?
I wrote down something. I wanted to bring this up. Potentially the quote of the year comment already in the NFL, but definitely the quote of the week. Did I share this with you, Carl?
No.
Okay. So Tony Romo is covering the Panthers. Who did the Panthers play? They had like a...
Detroit? No.
Were they a come from behind win, I think?
It was against the Raiders.
And they won, right?
No, they lost by 4.
Okay. So I think the Raiders were up big in that game, like 17-0 or something like that. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Might
Then
be
it was
wrong.
all of a sudden was like, what was the score? 35?
34-30.
Yeah. Then it was like 30-25 or something all of a sudden, right? Yeah.
So Panthers had this comeback. All the momentum had swung, obviously. So Tony Romo's comment was, the momentum is shifting here. You can hear it in the crowd noise, Jim.
That's good.
Amazing.
Man, I just thought that was fucking hilarious. In my opinion, Tony is by far the best commentator in the league.
By far.
100%.
Anytime you get him on your team's game,
Oh my God.
You're
It
in for
makes
a
it
ride.
so much better.
he's so much better.
He's so real, and he's such a good analyzer
So
too.
which
So much
games does he
better.
do?
I don't know why he got that game. Like, that was one of the shittiest
But why
games
is he
of the
not
week.
like a Monday night football or a Sunday night football guy? Like, or a Thursday night guy?
Maybe one day. I don't know.
Do you think that's
he's-
all bureaucratic bullshit? They're
It's
just like
got
the
to
guys
be
that have been there forever.
That's what it is. It's got to be seniority and whoever.
Because
But
he's
like,
new. He's
come
only
on,
been doing it for, what, 3 years maybe?
he's so good.
So much better. Any business that doesn't put the best people in the right positions can go fuck themselves. Like, they just are shit.
Yeah.
You know, he's the highest paid NFL analyst in television history.
He is?
He is?
CBS gave him $17 million.
Good. Why
Wow.
doesn't he do the good fucking games? Why is he covering Carolina and
Maybe
the
CBS
Raiders?
just doesn't have the rights to those games.
Oh, he specifically CBS.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Fox does a lot, right?
Maybe that's exactly why.
Fox, pick up your shit and sign him, man.
Who did they try to... Somebody tried to sign... Who's the other one?
For an analyst.
Yeah. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Steve Sims.
Somebody tried to do this, tried to snake somebody from another network and then got kiboshed.
I don't like to bring people down in most circumstances, but often I do. The people broadcasting the Seahawks game this week were just so
Oh my
bad,
God.
man. How? Like,
You know
why?
what I enjoyed about? So I was watching the game. It was terrible announcers. I don't understand who got this.
They were
then
making-
I had to do some showings. Got in the car, put the game on, and the Seahawks announcers on the radio, amazing.
So much better.
So good. And maybe it's just because you're watching somebody who is pro Seahawks and are listening to them and listening to what they're saying, and you hear the voice that's so familiar, and they're those announcers on that game on Sunday was the worst. How did they get that game?
They both
need to be
sounded
fired.
brand new to me. I'd never heard of either of their names.
Yeah.
One guy was about 5'2", $120, and the other guy was like 6'9", 350. So whenever they flashed to the booth, it looked hilarious because there's like a plexiglass window in the middle of them. One guy is standing way above the plexiglass window. The other guy is at the bottom of the plexiglass window.
Looking up at them.
It was super strange.
But they sucked.
Yeah, they were really
so
brutal.
annoying, monotoned, had no fun. I hate that. Like,
Do you think when we officially get the official Seahawks podcast, do you think that we could like cameo a game? Like just me and you could get one game a year?
we should.
I feel like we would be pretty solid.
Have we done this already before? And if we haven't, why don't we? We should do a broad.
Carl, what
we
the
should
fuck?
call
Why
a
haven't we
game.
thought of this?
We should call a game while we're watching the game.
So a couple questions. Are we?
Is that where you're going right now? Or was it where I just went?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, dude. Obviously, I think we're gonna explore this for the next half an hour.
Because this would be amazing.
Do you think we should?
I feel like we did it through stories. That's what we did. We were clearly on stories once. Anyways, go on.
Do you think we
really
should
need to do this? Because I can't wait to chirp Myers.
Do you think we should do it as a Seahawks broadcast?
I think we should pull the fans.
Being pro Seahawks, or do you think we have to be somewhat politically correct like Tony Romo?
No, fuck that. We're pro Seahawks 100%.
Okay, so we're not trying to get on Fox.
No, we're trying to get on the Seahawks Nation's radio station instead and call in every Seahawks game. I don't want to be on Fox and just call. Would you want to call this game right now?
You know what?
If I called this game right now, I'd be wearing a Seahawks jersey, though. Would I get fired?
I think so. It'd be a problem.
I don't think so.
Red flag.
No, I think that's okay.
You would be chirping Clowney right now. What a traitor. This guy sucks.
Yeah, you're probably right. All I can think of in my head right now is the future of the NFL, or the future of the Seahawks at least. People having us on live broadcast, the Seahawks Social, on live broadcast with their TVs on mute and just listening to us call the game.
The dream.
I'm in. Let's do this.
Uncensored. No filter.
What? Actually, it's difficult with our line of work to be available at 10 a.m. on Sunday. But this week might be a good first option
this week?
because this week they're the Sunday night game.
Oh,
So they're 5:30 Sunday.
that might be a great option.
A really good option.
Good game.
And it's going to be a phenomenal game
Just
against
wish
the Patriots.
New England Patriots with Cam Newton.
If only Brady was there.
And for all you listeners out there wondering if we are going to keep this PG so that your kids can listen,
Hell
the
no.
answer is no. But your kids should listen to open their eyes to the real world.
And sorry for throwing this comment out halfway through the podcast when we already swore the whole time. But hey, sorry, not sorry.
In our second season.
There's an R. What is there behind our podcast? There's got to be an explicit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
There is.
It's your problem.
Carl first told me about that about halfway through the first season of the Denny Dumas podcast. And I said, "Oh, you better just check that box every time."
Oh, there's a box you have to check?
Yeah, for explicit content.
Oh, I thought it was just like straight up, this podcast is. No, it's like every episode.
Every episode you
Yeah.
got to check, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Do you have the software that bleeps this out? Because that would suck. Have to go through that
Oh, that would be
manually.
awful. Jeez, yeah.
That's the best part about podcasts. Unfiltered bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm learning
And
listening to
Carl
other podcasts.
editing it for us. Because fuck, could you imagine if we had to do this and edit it?
Oh, Jesus.
It'd be like 3 years in the making per
No,
episode.
I would never have a podcast. I wouldn't be able to figure it out, man.
I quit
I'd
already.
tape one podcast and then it would take me a year and a half to figure out how to post it.
Yeah.
I'm watching a lot of YouTube videos. I probably call Carl a bunch of times. All right, next week. Are we actually doing this? Let's decide right now. Live on the Seahawks Social. Not necessarily live, but we're
What time is it at?
It's the Sunday night game, so
It's
Let's say-
a to be decided.
we have to be here at
Yeah.
5 p.m. on Sunday.
We can't commit to this till tomorrow after our team meetings. You know this, right? So that's when we'll find out.
Why?
Because I don't know. Do we have opens? Do we not have opens?
Open houses end at 4.
Your open house is ended for. Anyways, I'm
Dude,
100% committed to it right now.
Let's be 100% honest. No one in British Columbia is going to an open house while the Seahawks are playing.
That's true, actually.
Makes no fucking sense.
There's so many fans up here.
You know what we should do? We should do this live at an open house while watching the game, and people are coming through our open house. Going, welcome to the experience.
Enjoy the kitchen, guys.
Buy this home. We'd get fired.
Yeah, it's
Anyways.
not a great idea. It's probably the worst idea you've had tonight. You had a great idea earlier talking about doing it on the podcast.
Because you gave me this shit beer. If you give me some
And
good
it's
beer, I
really
have
just
better
gone
ideas.
downhill after that,
It's your
Lucas.
fucking beer, man. Anyways, I'm excited. Let's do this.
I got a lime margarita beer in there. Can you get that for Lucas next?
Oh my God.
Lime margarita.
Oh my God. I can't wait.
How do we do it? We do the full 3
I'm
hours podcast, or do we cut it up, or?
I say, what do the fans want, Carl?
That's a
Do you
very
think the
good
fans
question.
want commercials cut Do you think they want it like a TV show, like on TV, where there's commercials in between? Or do you think we have enough witty
banter? If they want to watch us, they watch us. They turn it off, they turn it off.
Okay, let's do it all.
If it's 3 hours and they, as a podcast after the fact, and they don't listen to it, they don't listen to it. It's a test, whatever. Who cares?
Okay.
What do you think?
I think we should do it live on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if people want to like tune in during the game,
ask questions.
And you can see see us.
If they can ask questions, if you have the phone right beside you,
For sure.
for the Instagram live.
And they get to see our rise from 0 drinks to 10. It's going to be amazing.
That's the tough thing about the 10 a.m. game. Is you're watching the whole game sober.
Yeah, that sucks.
So like you're pretty rational about most of the things. When like there's PI calls and you're like, yeah, I guess
analyze it.
I guess that was the kind of
We know the next 2 weeks are in Seattle, so we'll have better times.
Yeah.
Can we sneak into the Seattle Stadium next week? No, it's impossible. There's no fans, right?
No fans in Seattle.
No. Oh, that's a great point. I was going to talk about that. I guess each individual like team owner gets to decide.
I think each state has its own rules too,
it's the
right?
State. It's not. I don't think it's a team. It's maybe a mix of both. I mean, I think you have to abide by the state's rules and the city's rules.
Because there was at least 3 teams that had fans.
Kansas City, Miami. I think they made it.
Jacksonville.
Yeah. Did
Jacksonville
Dallas have
had 25%.
Were there people in Dallas?
Didn't Miami announce they were having 13,000
Yeah,
fans?
Miami had people.
So there was at least 4 or 5. Remember last week, Carl, you said that you didn't think they were going to have fans this year?
What do I know, dude? Fucking 3 hours later. And
I think you got fans here.
Can we? No, man. Washington not have a team name? Do we know why Washington doesn't have a team name? Just a total random thought.
Yeah, there are. There's people up there.
Yeah, I know. They have half the stadium are fake fans and the other half are real fans.
So Denver has fans too.
Clowny traitor.
He looks weird in a different jersey.
Yeah.
I wish he was back here.
Get him on here.
Oh, fumble.
All right. Where are we at?
Should we move forward to next week?
Let's move forward to next week. Next week.
We have a really, really fun game
against the Brady-less Patriots.
That'll be really fun. Really fun. I'm excited to see the Hawks just like blow Belichick out.
They're going to have a problem. Patriots.
What's the score?
So the problem with the Patriots is their defense is really good and their offense is mediocre at best. So I think that fits really good against the Seahawks because our offense is the best in the league and our defense has some room for improvement.
So we just kind of match up that way.
I don't think there is anyone in the league on defense that is going to hold the Seahawks offense down. I haven't seen anyone. They're just so many weapons, man. I think Russ is going to have another big game. I think
Adams will have another big game.
I think the Seahawks are 2-0 in a week from now.
Yeah.
Should we do scores?
I'll do a score.
I'd like to just point out again for all the NFC West fans out there that the 49ers are 0-1. And
Soon to be
everyone
0-2.
else in our Division 1. The Rams beat who everyone on the bullshit networks thought was going to be the best team in the league, the Dallas Cheese Boys.
And the Rams did not even play that good. It was an ugly game.
The Rams are not good.
No.
It's because they lost a lot of big
You call them the Cheese
How's
Boys.
Arizona? I didn't see any of the Niners Arizona game.
Arizona's good because they have DeAndre Hopkins now.
Oh, yeah.
And
their quarterback is pretty good.
Kyler, yeah. He's been playing very well. 24-20, they beat the 49ers.
And the Niners have a really tough game this week, I think.
So they're going to be 0-2.
They could easily be 0-2.
And we're 2-0. Oh.
DeAndre Hopkins had 14 receptions.
Oh, no, shit. Never mind.
What?
The Niners are playing the Jets.
Oh, God.
So the Niners are going to be 1-1. The Seahawks are going to be 2-1, 2-0. The Rams play at the Eagles, so that's a coin flip. And the Cardinals play against the team with no name.
Fuck.
Who won their first
They
game.
beat the Eagles.
They don't even have a team name.
They don't need it, man.
I messaged our good friend Nav. Nav's a good guy. He's a big Eagles fan. I said, how did you lose to a team without a name? Could no one come up with anything?
How long have they had? They've had like 10 years knowing this was coming.
Oh, they've been nameless for like last month.
No, I know.
Yeah, but why can't
you've
they
had
come up
10
with a
years to
name?
come up with a fucking name? How hard is it?
What did we come up with last week?
The Boilermakers.
Perfect. Done.
Or like the Dragons. Or
Have a contest. Do something. Call yourselves the Washington Reds. You're red. There you go. Done. Got a
take
name.
away the skins.
Didn't even think about that.
Oh, the Washington Maroons.
Whatever.
All right, scores.
I'm going to go...
Hold on. Before we say this, Carl,
Yeah.
can we look up the over-under and the line for the game?
Give me a second here.
Lucas, what are you most excited to see next week? Anything you
currently
didn't see this
the
week?
most-
Anything you
Yeah.
were super pumped about this week that you want to see more of?
Yeah. Can I talk?
Yep.
I'd like to see the whole game. That's all I want to see.
You want to try your hand out at broadcasting, don't you?
And the broadcasting as well. But I actually want to see a whole game.
I got your answer, Denny.
10 a.m. game does not fit very well on my schedule on a Sunday.
It's too early.
It is, yeah, it doesn't work when I'm working.
Good news is, as a Seahawks fan, we don't have many of those. Most of them are 1 o'clock.
Good news is DAZN is taking a lot of my money because I can watch it in the car.
Hold on, before we get to the line, can we confirm, is it called DAZN or DAZN?
Just
It's the
DAZN.
zone. But it's terrible. Whoever it's a
Why
bad
does everyone
idea.
say DAZN?
Nobody
Because
says it.
it's a stupid spelling.
I haven't heard anybody say DAZN except you right now.
Everyone says it's DAZN.
Why is that crane going at 100 miles an hour right now? It's
Working late.
midnight.
Working late, man. It's
There's
8,
no way
8:13.
anybody's working right now.
Also, I'm surprised how close this game is. It's 7-7.
Okay,
thought
can we
the
get to the
Titans would
score?
smash 'em.
34-18. Seahawks.
Carl?
I'm going to go 31-17.
Oh, you dork.
I think,
You're going to go, what, 31-12?
no. I think I respect the Patriots. I don't hate another team more than them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they are better than people think they are. I'm going to go 31-24. Seahawks win by 7. And
Here's
I
a
think,
quick
hold
question.
on. I don't think the game is going to be super close.
You said what? 30 what?
31-24. I don't think the game's going to be super close, but I think Cam Newton will score a touchdown in the last few minutes
some
to
plays,
make it a
Should we
7-point game.
Should we have money on these scores?
Yeah, so far-
$5 a game?
So far, Denny has 4 points.
No.
Carl has
not
1,
points.
and you have 0 because you didn't even show
it's
up
a win
last
or a
week.
loss. It's not
It's
points.
not 1. It's not 1 or a 0.
Yeah, each week it's a win or a loss. One person wins and they get the $5 from everybody, and yearly you all owe me $10,000.
All right. Are we using the same rules as last year?
Which were what?
There were no rules. I think we need money on this to make this legit.
What? Okay. What are the rules then?
We got to figure out how we do the scoring.
It's a win or a loss. You either
But
get
Hold on. We didn't even hear the line.
points.
What was the line?
closest to the points.
Seahawks are 4.5-point favorites, and it's over/under is at 44.5.
Okay, so I say over for sure, and I'll take the Seahawks with the points. So what do we? Are we? We need some real rules if we're actually gonna
Okay,
pay each other $5.
We'll bring this up on the broadcast
So do you think
on Sunday.
Hold on, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it and then have the rules ready for Sunday. So do you think we should use what whoever ESPN or whoever you're looking at line is. So 4.5. Seahawks minus 4.5. Do you think we should be picking against that?
So we could do...
Or do you think we should be saying our own scores and then like, how do you add up scores? Like last week I said 38-21. 21?
Yep.
No. 38-20.
Sorry. Last week you said 38-20.
20. And it was 38-25. So do I get minus 5 points? Because
I think so. So 5, yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's how we do it.
I don't
Because
know.
then if you would...
Because I got one bang on, and then the other one I was off by 4. No, off by 4. 4 or 5?
5.
So I get minus 5.
So, and let's say you said 36 and you would be minus 7, right?
Yeah. You want to do it like that?
Sure. Smallest number?
You want to do it like that?
Sure, yeah.
All right. So what did you say for next week? Lucas said what?
Lucas said 34-18.
Okay.
You are at 31-24.
Yeah.
And I am at 31-17.
Okay.
Make it official this year.
Let's do this. And we're betting $5 a week. So everyone's throwing in $5. So the winner of each week gets $10.
$10. Yeah, I like it. Out of your pocket.
I'd also like to make a new rule that if the podcasts are going to be at my house every week, that you cheap cocksuckers bring some goddamn beer sometime. Okay?
I think it's the least we could do.
It's like $2,000 of beer for a whole season for me.
Okay, done. Denny's
that.
going to pay $10 every week to either
Lucas-
Carl or I.
Lucas, in his head, Lucas is like, this is why I'm only showing up every second week so that they stop asking me to bring beer.
Well, whatever I bring, it won't be this shit.
All right. Shall we?
We shall.
We love you guys.
Peace out.
Pumped about week 1, 1-0. Teams never look better, to be honest. I'm more excited than ever.
We're already
And,
talking about the MVP race for Russell.
Man. Pumped about Sunday night. It's going to be a phenomenal thrashing of the New England Patriots.
They suck already.
#GoHawks. Let's get out of here. Love you guys.
Fuck numbers. Peace out.